Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're talking about 10 games we need in VR right now. Now, this list includes existing games that definitely deserve a sequel, flat screen IPs that would work great in VR, and a few other titles that you didn't know you needed. I'll be ordering this list of VR games from the least likely to happen all the way to titles that have actually been confirmed. Since none of these titles exist yet, I'm also recommending the closest VR option that you can play right now. Like normal, this video contains links and timestamps in the description, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Kiwi Design, one of my favorite sites for VR accessories. They just released some brand new Quest 2 hand straps that'll give you that Valve Index feel and allow you to completely let go of the controllers. They also have plenty of other accessories like controller weights for those of you who work out in VR, cable management systems, and my favorite accessory, their super durable and extra comfy Quest 2 Elite strap. There are links down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code Mateo311 for 5% off and to help support this channel. Before I give you my list, I want to know what game you want to experience in VR. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, as previously mentioned, I'm ordering this list from least to most likely to happen, and first up is Halo. Halo has some of the most refined and rewarding multiplayer combat available. Every single weapon has a unique feel and utility, and Halo Infinite is a masterpiece on so many levels that would just blend phenomenally well with VR. There's fast-paced combat, amazing weaponry, multiple different vehicles to pilot, and everyone's favorite VR utility, a grappling hook. Unfortunately though, it's very unlikely we will get a Halo VR title. Between Microsoft's dismissiveness of VR, the fact that they're too busy buying up every other game studio, and Halo Infinite running on its own unique engine rather than Unreal or Unity, makes it very unlikely we will ever see Halo VR. There was a mod under development for the previous versions of Halo, but it's now on ice as the developer is now working for 343 Industries, the actual developers of Halo. Now, I couldn't say if that makes a new mod less or more likely to happen. For now though, the closest multiplayer shooter is Grapple Tournament. In truth, it's much more of an Unreal Tournament clone than Halo, but there is a wide array of sci-fi weapons, it's super fast-paced, and you get a grappling hook. Now, the next unlikely title is Gears of War. Co-op, story-driven gameplay against gigantic monstrosities? Yes, please. Just imagine ducking behind cover as bullets ricochet all around you, waiting for that perfect moment to pop up and score a beautiful headshot. The scale of the enemies would be taken to the next level in VR, and I'm sure running up and chainsawing someone will never get old. I'd love to experience the Gears of War universe from a new perspective, and this title does use the Unreal Engine, which makes it slightly more possible to happen, but again, we're dealing with Microsoft. Now, as we move into titles that are slightly more likely to happen, we have some more gruesome action with God of War. For starters, VR is in desperate need of some RPGs, especially gritty, mature-themed ones. We're also lacking high-quality, story-driven content. God of War excels at both, and what better way to feel like a badass than actually swinging your controllers to have Kratos drop the smackdown. Voice commands are also easily integrated into VR titles, so imagine running around yelling "boy" to call Atreus over. Now, the current rumors surrounding Sony PlayStation VR 2 emphasize hybrid titles, meaning games that are playable in both flat screen and VR. God of War also recently made its way onto PC, so while this becoming a VR game is unlikely, it's still a possibility. In the meantime, the closest we have right now is Hellblade. It's a beautiful third-person action puzzle title, and while the tone doesn't match God of War, and it's more puzzle-oriented, it's an excellent game nonetheless. But for our next title, I would love to see a sequel to Robo Recall. Robo Recall is a classic VR title that still remains one of my favorite VR shooters. It was built from the ground up for VR and included some amazing mechanics like catching bullets in midair, forceful dismemberment, and using enemies against one another. It's a blast to play with an excellent gameplay loop. Epic Games produced Robo Recall back in 2017, but it was ported to the Quest by Drifter Entertainment. Robo Recall was well received. We've seen tech demos showing off what appears to be an updated version of Robo Recall. Epic Games is still putting money towards XR, and they own the Unreal Engine, which is one of the most commonly used VR game engines. While they currently don't have any official VR games in production, they did propose the idea of producing a launch title for the PlayStation VR 2. Could Robo Recall 2 be a PlayStation VR launch title? We'll have to wait and see, but until then, I recommend you check out the original game. Now, the next title is near and dear to my heart. The Gallery is an episodic, story-driven puzzle title that takes some truly unique turns. This was an early VR game that was cutting edge at the time, and you'll unravel a mysterious story while searching for your sister that culminates in some extreme endings. I've been waiting years for another episode, but instead Cloudhead Games has shifted over to Pistol Whip. Now the studio has stated that they wouldn't return to this title unless there was a significant leap in VR technology. My interpretation of that statement is the PC VR community is too small to be profitable, and the Quest 2 hardware is too limited to produce the product they want. So maybe the PlayStation VR 2 will be the system that finally makes this happen. Until then, go check out the Gallery episodes 1 and 2. You can actually pick up a free trial for Viveport Infinity and play through these games. Now, as I mentioned earlier, VR really needs some RPGs, and what's better than the most iconic world, Dungeons and Dragons? I have extremely fond memories of titles like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, and there's two distinct development routes that would work very well in VR. First is tabletop simulation, and the second is a first-person experience. PC-based tabletop Dungeons and Dragons is extremely popular these days with sites like Roll20. VR would only elevate this experience to the next level. Now, a true single-player or co-op Dungeons and Dragons RPG experience would be my personal dream come true, because I'm ready to role-play the badass character of my dreams and get into all sorts of heroic deeds or mischievous action. The closest thing we have to the tabletop experience right now is Demio, but unlike people say, this is not Dungeons and Dragons in VR. It is a much lighter system. Luckily though, there are multiple systems like Roll20 currently in development, so let's hope one of them actually delivers. Now, if you're looking for some first-person action, I recommend you check out Carnage Chronicles and Legendary Tales. They nail the combat and atmosphere, but lack the storytelling and role-playing you get from Dungeons and Dragons. Let's hope one day Wizards of the Coast officially signs on and makes a VR title. Now, this next game is a no-brainer. After the success of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, aka The Village, needs to come to VR. Horror is so much more intense in a virtual environment, and the Resident Evil games are true masterpieces. When the 16-year-old game Resident Evil 4 can still blow you away, you know you have something special. With the PlayStation VR 2 coming soon, there's a good chance we could get a VR version of Resident Evil 8. Until then though, there is a PC VR mod in development. It's not perfect, but it's worth checking out. Now, our next titles would not only make excellent VR experiences, but they're also supposedly years into development. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell, two titles that feature excellent storytelling and stealth-based action. Imagine diving off buildings, pulling off the perfect assassination, or just being a badass in hand-to-hand combat. Those experiences would be a lot more intense in VR, but if Assassin's Creed is too old school for you, Splinter Cell will put a futuristic twist on the formula. Sneak into a room with night vision, use your trusty silencer to take out some guards, and accomplish your mission without anyone knowing you were ever there. I don't really have a substitute for Assassin's Creed in VR right now, but Aspire 1 VR Operative might scratch your Splinter Cell itch. Now, as I mentioned, these titles are supposedly already in development for years, but it's been quite a while since we've heard anything. I'm still fairly confident we will see these in the future though. Another game I'd like to experience in VR is Dead by Daylight. Co-op and horror always work so well in VR, and sneaking around hiding in the darkness is so much more intense and a completely different experience. The action found in Dead by Daylight is just a perfect fit for VR. And while there isn't an official version coming, After Dark is basically a clone that's releasing tomorrow, January 21st. It will be in early access, but I can confirm it's a blast to play and feels a lot like Dead by Daylight. Something as simple as cranking a generator in VR is just so much more immersive than what you get on flat screen. Okay, we've spoken about VR needing more RPGs and story-driven content, and our next title has that, plus a huge open world. A VR version of Grand Theft Auto would be next level content, and GTA San Andreas has been confirmed for the Quest 2. Soon you'll have the opportunity to fulfill your anti-hero or even villain fantasies as you take control of the streets of San Andreas. Grand Theft Auto is all about doing whatever you want, and VR is about physically embodying a new world. This is a match made in heaven that we'll soon be able to experience. Until then, GTA 5 has a VR mod that I recommend you check out. And the last title also has amazing story-driven content, RPG elements, a huge open world, and stunning graphics. Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the most exciting titles I've played in the past 10 years. The epic storyline unfolds in a truly intriguing manner, and the gameplay is just plain addictive. I can't wait to experience this fantastic world from a VR perspective, and soon we'll be able to do just that. Horizon Call of the Mountain has been officially confirmed for the PlayStation VR 2, and my only concern is how close will this game resemble the flat screen predecessor? Will it be a stripped down shell of its former self, something extremely different, or just a small VR experience? Well, we'll find out soon enough, and while we're waiting, there is a VR mod for the original Horizon Zero Dawn in development. It's currently looking good, but still needs some work. Okay, everybody, that was 10 VR games we really need to experience in VR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you guys on next time.